Hey there folks, Wrel here. Today we're going to be looking at the Brawler, which is the new Conglomerate's Directive Shotgun, available once you've earned an Araxium medal on at least 5 shotguns. The Brawler is interesting in the sense that it's a shotgun layered on top of another, stronger underbarrel shotgun. It's pretty much the ultimate satire for the new Conglomerate. The only thing that would have made it better is if the weapon was held together by duct tape and made cawing noises each time you fired. The Brawler's main shotgun fires 6 pellets for 130 damage up to 8 meters, quickly tapering out to 50 damage over 18 meters. So theoretically that's a 2-shot kill up to 13 meters, but in practice it doesn't work out like that because the pellets spread, and that's after dealing with the randomness of the cone of fire. So based on the moving cone of fire and the pellet spread, which we'll talk about later, your 2 shots to kill is consistently out to about 8 meters against a non-nanoweave, non-shielded target with very good aim on your part. The underbarrel shotgun, which you can switch to by pressing the 1 key again while the weapon is equipped, fires 10 pellets, presumably following the same damage model. I say presumably because I don't actually have the stats for underbarrel shotguns and underbarrel attachments in general. Either way though, while moving, you're looking at a 1-shot kill up to about 10 meters in live play, again provided you have dead aim and you're not dealing with a nanoweave armored target or a heavy shielded target. This is not only due to the additional pellets it fires, but also because the pellet spread is lower than the main barrel. For the main barrel, if you're within a 2-shot kill range, you're looking at a 0.27 second theoretical time to kill. And by comparison, an Orion user within that same range kills at 0.48 seconds. So for a 2-shot kill, that's a pretty big difference. But if you miss a shot, your time to kill immediately goes up to 0.53 seconds, which is a pretty drastic increase with each misplaced shot. The Brawler has 6 rounds per magazine and 42 in reserve, as well as the underbarrel, which has 1 round per magazine with 3 in reserve. So at its absolute best, and not going for headshots, you can drop a total of 4 targets without having to reload, 3 with the main barrel and 1 with the underbarrel. This is not such a great place to be, because in normal play, more often than not, your targets will have nanoweave, or they will have a heavy shield, or you'll catch them outside of the weapon's effective range, or you'll only land partial shots, or you'll flat out miss shots altogether. And you will spend more than 2 shots to drop those targets. It's for that same reason that the underbarrel shotgun is very situational. You basically want to have it out when you're about to round a corner and barrel stuff someone, so that you know you won't miss any pellets. And in that case, it is a helpful attachment to have because a 1-shot kill means that the enemy doesn't get a chance to fight back, which means less damage taken on your part. But it also means that you're only really sitting on 3 kills per magazine at most, with the underbarrel as an added benefit when the situation presents itself. Again, this is under the most ideal circumstances. Fortunately though, the Brawler is a variant of your default quick reload Mauler shotgun, so it has a short reload of 2.1 seconds and a long reload of 3.22 seconds. But for the underbarrel shotgun, you reload 1 round at about 2.5 seconds flat. So to completely top yourself off, you're sitting through up to 5.77 seconds worth of reload time. And for a close quarters weapon without a lot of kill potential per magazine, this is far from ideal. In regards to cone of fire, all shotguns are the same, except for the Baron and the Jackhammer, which have tighter aim down sights cone of fire. How they vary is in their pellet spread. Pellet spread is basically a cone of fire within your cone of fire. The first cone of fire is going to dictate where the pellet spread will originate from. So when you aim down sights, the cone of fire will tighten up, which means less room for error, but the pellet spread does not. That stays static on everything except for the mag scatter pistol, which has a smart choke attachment. A tighter pellet spread is extremely important to the weapon's damage over range, which in turn increases its effective range. That being said, the Brawler's pellet spread is 3.5, which is the same as your high capacity shotguns, a little bit lower than your automatic shotguns, but also higher than your quick reload shotguns. So in addition to having less kills per magazine than your Mauler, it's also less accurate. However, if the underbarrel shotgun follows the same pattern as your standard pump action, then it also has a cone of fire of 3, so a little bit tighter than the Brawler's main barrel, and on par with the default Mauler. So those are the stats, all the important ones anyway. Some tips for using the weapon effectively are as follows. Know when to use your underbarrel. When switching either to or away from your underbarrel attachment, there's going to be a delay. So using it in the middle of a bout with another player is extremely risky because it's slow to switch in and out of that mode without a guarantee on a kill. Generally, you want to use it against a target that is unaware of your presence, or when you transition from one target to the next. It should not, however, enter your normal damage rotation unless it's a last-ditch effort. Be sure to limit your engagement range and only use this weapon when it makes sense. Shotguns are useful within very limited confines, so forcing the enemy into close quarters is a necessity to make these weapons work. As a non-light assault, your best bet is to camp capture points or patrol indoor areas without long hallways where you can be outranged. As a light assault, you get a little bit more flexibility as you can drop in on people from unexpected angles and then retreat back to relative safety. You also want to be sure to equip a proper sidearm. Sidearms are what you're going to be using during any transitional moment, so a moment when you aren't quite at the right range to make the most out of your shotgun. Because of that, you want something that you'll feel pretty confident defending yourself with. I'd normally recommend the Commissioner or the Underboss right away, but NC has some pretty great pistols all around, and the Desperado is probably one of my favorites in the game. As far as targeting goes, one thing you want to stay away from are heavy assaults. With almost double the effective health of normal infantry, the only time you want to actively engage heavy assaults is when you get the drop on them and when they're within barrel stuffing range. And even then, it's entirely possible to waste up to 4 rounds without a kill. Heavies are not prime targets for your underbarrel either, as you cannot kill a shielded heavy with even a point-blank underbarrel shot to the chest, and trying to do so is going to leave you subjected to the in and out time from switching weapon attachments. And the last tip I'd like to share is to aim down sights when you can. Your cone of fire from the hip is pretty loose, and even though shotguns are meant to be hipfire weapons, you want your pellet spread to originate as close to the center of your screen as possible so that you can land more pellets more often. If someone initiated on you, then the movement speed bonus from staying in hipfire may be more beneficial, but if you've got the drop on someone, the accuracy bonus from aiming down sights is nice to have. Overall, as sad as it may be to say, the Brawler is lacking when compared to other options you have access to. It's a variant of the Mauler with less accuracy, less kill potential per magazine, less flexibility, and effectively a longer reload as well. Since the Brawler doesn't have access to slug ammunition and it isn't running extended magazines, you're really banking on that underbarrel shotgun to make up for everything it's losing out on, which unfortunately just isn't enough compensation to put it on par with other shotguns you have access to. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and if you have any questions or opinions on the Brawler yourself, go ahead and leave those thoughts in the comment section down below. Thanks very much folks, Wrel signing off.